Welcome to the All Things Possible podcast with Christina Crowley. Here is Christina.
Hello, everyone. I am so happy you've decided to join and listen with me today. I am talking about happiness. Now, happiness seems to be a big theme that I have on this podcast, is because I think we all strive for some sort of happiness. And after 2020, a lot of us are realizing we need to get going. We need to get working on being happy because life is short. And I think if last year taught us anything, it's we need to rethink what makes us happy. I had a long conversation with a friend of mine about 2020 and what it meant to them. And for me, I came to the realization, as did she, that 2020 showed us what we were putting up with, what we were hiding by being busy, and that our contentment may not have been real, that we were in the midst of discontent, for lack of a better word. And it was a powerful conversation. I think sometimes that we do put our happiness on the back burner until later because that's easier, because we have responsibilities, because we have stuff we want to get done. There's so many things that we put in the way. We fill our days with our obligations, with our things we think we want, because we think that will make us happy, only to realize when everything stops, when we get stuck at home, we realize really where our lives are. And that, I know that happened to me. I realized really where my life was, and I couldn't go forward because of COVID, because of no vaccine, because of so many things. But I had to realize my own discontentment with where I really was in life. And that was hard. It is still hard to realize. What I really should have done is turned around and get really working on me, on the things that really are important that I had been putting off, that I had been pushing aside because I had obligations. Because when I was done with those obligations, I was just forced to realize that we're just existing. That is painful. And working through that pain, going through it, it's not for everyone, but to get to the other side, we kind of have to go through it. Filling our days with busyness to hide from ourselves is what a lot of us do. A lot of us, if we're really honest, do on purpose, maybe Freudianly, that Freudian slip. I think that it's important to get beyond that. 2020 was a long, difficult year. To get into 2021, realizing we're still kind of in the same place, yet we've turned a corner. There are vaccines. We are able to get out again. But to really center within ourselves and to know who we are, what we want, be honest with ourselves and make that plan and do. Yes, follow through on our obligations, but be honest with ourselves in working forward. It feels better. It feels better to work on what we want for our lives. You get rid of the kind of busy that is just busy. That is, we all know the person, if we can't see it in ourselves, we all know that person who's really, really busy. They talk a big game. They're kind of spinning their wheels. And that's because they're busy on other things that aren't moving them forward for what they're saying that they really want in life. And we do that for a number of reasons. It can be because we're scared. It can be because we don't have that true faith in ourselves. There's all kinds of reasons. And we don't all have the time or the money to go to therapy and figure it out. So without being too hard on ourselves, let's just be honest and set a path towards what we really want. Yeah, we have only a limited time here on earth. We have personal choice. We have free will. Most of us have true freedom. Those of you who are listening to this, we probably have real true freedom. Let's figure out what makes us happy and move forward and be honest about it and do it. There will always be some painful times in our lives that will make us come to, have a come to Jesus talk, is what they call it in some areas of this country. That we need to also live for ourselves, not just others. not just our obligations.
Have you listened to the We as Citizens podcast yet? If you haven't, feel free to go to weascitizens.com/podcasts.